The area that we're in right here, this is North Scottsdale. Considered an extremely desirable place to live. Scottsdale is known for its resorts, upscale living, and outstanding shopping. Only 18% of the land here in Arizona belongs to we the people. The majority of the land belongs to Anaconda, which is copper, or the Santa Fe Railroad. About 48% of our land is under the federal government, and that's reservation, and we have more national parks and monuments than any other state in the United States. So that's kind of our summer, and we're coming into that. But we have 8 months of perfect, and that's why so many people have come here to live and work. One of the big draws was we had extremely low unemployment rates. Tourism and electronics are #1 industry. We're going to see Intel today, American Express. We build the wonderful Apache helicopter here. Womp, womp, womp. We have a tremendous amount of distribution centers in Tucson and in Flagstaff. We're one of the 5th youngest state in the United States. And reading in the paper the other day, I had said to you at the airport that our average age was 32.1. I read it's gone up. They're trying to catch up to me, I guess. But what's interesting is that we are basically a young state, so we don't have a lot of money that's going out for care of older people or a lot of young people. And especially the areas we're going to be looking in today are young. Average age is like 26 and 27 in the areas that we're looking at. We don't have the type of climate that brings hurricanes and tornadoes. So when you look at a safe place to live or build, Phoenix, Arizona is the place. Really is. But we, like your area, we do have floods and we do burn because of our climates. This area we're going through, this is West Phoenix. And it goes west, 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 west. We're fairly clean town. A golf course on the door side, 357 golf courses in the Phoenix area, in land without water. We've never had a water shortage. Never. We are sitting on one of the largest aquifers in North America. We have water that comes from the Colorado River that we bring 343 miles across the state down to Tucson, so they have drinking water. And we have the Salt River that comes from the northeast part of the state. So we're pretty good as far as water is concerned. The aquifer probably goes down 400, 500 feet. Now, the only challenge on that being is, as we have drained it, because they're limestone and sandstone, they're collapsing in on each other. So a day late and a dollar short, you know that one. They've been trying to flood them with water from cap to hold the walls up and keep that groundwater available.
My name is Jeff Maffey. I'm the managing partner of this place as well as the manager. So if you have any questions, I can tell you. All right, so we're going to start with the 1-bedroom up here. Apartments are renovated every time, or upgraded, or turned as we call it, every time a tenant moves up.
Okay. So the ones that we're looking at though?
The ones we're looking at are all turned.
Okay.
They're all ready to go. This is a small one. The electricity separately metered, and water isn't in this state.
So
Does that include hot water?
Yeah.
So you got a common water heater?
No, they have their own. They pay for the electricity to heat the water, but
Okay.
we pay for the water.
Right.
The HOA pays for the water.
So it isn't even in the 154, the HOA?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is.
Everything's in the 154. The only thing that the HOA doesn't cover are your real estate taxes. And on this unit, it's somewhere around $35 a month.
What about insurance?
In this country, you have to pay taxes on everything that's relationship to real estate, like land or a building. So they come in and they take the price and they multiply it by what is known as a millage. And in this state, it's .022. So you take the price, 31,000, multiply it by .022, divide it by 12, and that'll give you your monthly payment. Now, you also don't have to pay it each month. You can pay it every 6 months, or you can pay it every year.
Would they have to buy insurance? We got HOA.
No, HOA covers your insurance. Now, you can get insurance for the inside, but it doesn't make sense because our HOA insurance covers everything but the appliances. So,
Does it cover liability?
yes.
How long do people usually stay here? Like if they rent something out, is there a term of agreement when you lease it out?
They have to pay. They have to stay here for 12 months. We don't do anything less than a 12-month lease.
When you say 4% plus bills, what bills? The HOA?
Maintenance, that sort of thing.
4%. What do we say? 4%?
You said the options for property management?
Oh, 4%. Yeah. I mean, the difference is, well, you're going to have your HOA dues. You're going to have to pay your taxes. Now, you guys aren't doing, the real estate taxes. You're not borrowing money, so there's no mortgage to pay. It's really just a case of, do you want hands-on or hands-off? That's all it really is. You have, the difference between a 10 and a 4 is on a 10%, all you get is a check every month, your profits. On a 4%, we're going to call you every time. We're going to say, this is what's going on. On both of them, we won't spend over $100 without calling you first. But on a 4%, we're going to call you every single time there's something up. On the 10%, you give us your mandate, and we take care of everything. We're going to walk all the way around to the other side so you can see the amenities and see the entire complex, and go into a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. The screening process for tenants. We hired a company in town that's one of the largest locators, and what a locator is they're a company that does one thing and one thing only, and that is find tenants for apartment complexes or condos. We've hired them. We've gone from, the old management company was here, we had 52% occupancy. Within 60 days, we were at 88%. By the end of this month, we'll be at 92. It's not rocket science. There's a lot of people out there that want apartments, and there are a lot of people out there that want apartments that are safe, clean, and have the type of amenities we do. They're screened for their credit, and I will tell you that because of the way the economy's been in this country in the last 3 or 4 years, if somebody's lost a home, we don't count that against them. Almost, everybody has knows somebody or has lost one themselves. We don't count that off. We don't allow felonies. We don't allow any kind of anybody that's had anything to do with sexual harassment, anything to do with any kind of sex offense, or if they've had battery. We don't allow that. So misdemeanor, like 5 years ago or 10 years ago, we're gonna let you in. And if you got kids and you're working, we're gonna let you in.
Thank you.
That's good.
Any questions? Yes.
Water and utilities, who pays for that?
HOA. That HOA fee you pay pays for your water and your water, sewer, trash, landscaping, maintenance, insurance, everything but your real estate tax.
What would that be?
Your real estate tax?
Yeah.
Your real estate tax is you take the price, you multiply it by .022, divide by 12, that'll give you your monthly payment.
So the electricity is covered?
Yeah, we've got it all written down for you also, but that's the equation for it.
Energy is covered in the HOA as well?
The energy, electricity, your tenant pays. They put it in their name and they pay for it.
Is it common for a tenant to not pay rent?
When you say common, what does that mean?
Well,
regular?
We have probably about a 2.5 to 3% eviction rate. It's not high. It's about average.
So is that what you do if they don't pay rent?
Oh, we evict them, absolutely. Yeah, and we give them, they have 5 days to pay their rent. On the 6th day, if they haven't paid, we evict. Now, if they come in, they have to pay a $100 late fee. Again, if you own it, that's yours. So you get the rent plus the fee. Yeah. And they pay for the legal fees, so if you evict, I'll be realistic, the chances are if you evict them and you actually go through the eviction, they're not going to pay the legal fees. But we have an attorney that does that, and he does it very, very inexpensively, if you can say that about an attorney. He's kind of an oxymoron, actually.
So in terms of insurance, because the HOA covers all the outside, what would you need for the inside? Just some contents insurance?
No, because our HOA, the docs are written, and you'll see, Annetta's got the docs. The docs are written so that if there's a problem, the HOA pays for the floor covering, the wall covering, the like the toilets, the countertops, everything but your appliances. So if you want to insure your appliances and pay $250 a year for that, it's a waste of time. Because we can get you a stove, or refrigerator for somewhere between $200 and $225. So it's a gamble, but it's a real small gamble. And that's why it's so cheap, is they never pay off because it never happens. It depends upon your tenant, but you should expect to repaint and clean the carpet every time your tenant moves out.
Yeah,
yeah, it's just a real touch-up. It costs us to paint and to clean a carpet. You're looking at probably $150 to $200. It's not an expensive endeavor. Now, if we have to completely redo your unit, you're probably looking at $1,500, and you would come to us because we have such a large clout. We can get really, really good rates.
And how long are the leases?
12 months. We don't do anything shorter than 12 months. You can't come here for 6 months or 8 months. It's 12, or you go someplace else.
You had a waiting list you mentioned?
Yeah, we have right now, the 3 units we've showed you are already rented. The tenants move in on the 1st of June. We have a waiting list for the 1-beds because we're full. The 2-beds, we have, right now we have 8 ready to rent, and we've got 6 of them rented already. So it's moving real fast. We're doing somewhere between 7 and 8 rentals a week. And we only have, I think, 35 vacancies right now and 348 units. It's not bad.
How much are the deposits, and who does that go to?
Well, it depends. I mean, what we do is we ask for first months and a security deposit. If it's your tenant, you ask for whatever you want. We're going to recommend what's going to be the best to get it rented quickly. It's your money. It has nothing to do with us. We'll collect it and send it to you. Yes?
Of the 35 units, what's the split between the 1-bedder, the 2+2, and the 2+1 bedder?
I think I've got probably, you're probably looking at the 2 beds, obviously since the large ones are 100% occupied, it's probably 40, 40, and 20.
In which respect?
So the 40, 40 for the 2 beds and 20% for the smalls. That's of the 35, not of the whole complex. It's, yeah.
Can you tell the sizes of the floors again?
Yes, the small 1-beds is 470. Small 1-bed is 470. The large 1-bed is, good, I'm going to blank on this. 680, I didn't memorize that today because we don't have any available. And then it's 740 and 828. Well, we do. Once we get to 92, which will be at the end of this month, we automatically, the next people that come in, their rent's going to be higher than the person that just rented before them. We keep pushing it until it starts to dip below 90%, then we stop, get it back up to 92%, and then we raise the rent again. I mean, it's not real rocket science. It's just, you know, you keep it between there and you know what you're going to do.
Is they go inside? Okay.
I just want to say this house here is one that's pre-rehabbed, okay? I can't take you in any of the other ones that we're selling because they're all done, rehabbed, and rented, and I can't take 50 people through the house. This is that mid-range house that we talked to you guys about yesterday. We had the nicer, newer homes that were like 2005 and newer. Then we had like the mid-range. This is called like the Maryville area. They were built in like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. The rents are similar, but the prices are a little lower, so the returns are a little higher, if you guys remember the stuff I was talking about yesterday. Yep. So this is a mid-range house, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, pre-rehab. When you guys were walking up, you could see maybe some of you could, the roof needs a complete tear off, all right? So just so you guys know, to tear off this roof for me at cost is probably around $3,000, but if you guys were to go have some contractor or something to do, it's probably about a $5,000 to $6,000 job, all right? So we're gonna tear off the roof, we're gonna paint the outside. We like all the outsides to be painted and fresh, 2-tone paint. We'll make sure there's no chipping paint, paint the window seals, the shutters, all the trim around on the outside, and the base color. Let's go inside. Here, I just want to let you guys know what we do standard to the houses over here. As you can see, we got electrical issues. Someone's come through here and stripped out the electrical. So all the outlets pretty much, we got to rerun the electrical. We'll re-put the base plates on. Here, we always paint the walls 2-tone. I usually tan the walls with this semi-gloss paint. The reason we use the semi-gloss, and this is semi-gloss, there's a difference between flat and semi-gloss paint. Flat doesn't have the sheen to it. But the reason we like to use the semi-gloss is because if you have kids that put their hands on it or furniture that rubs up against it, you can just wipe it off. And you as a landlord, all right, you don't want to have to come through and repaint your house every time somebody new comes in. So if you can semi-gloss the wall with the heavy-duty semi-gloss, it's going to save you thousands of dollars in maintenance down the road. One good thing about Phoenix, the Phoenix market is, this is kind of standard, the tile on the floor. This is going to last a whole heck of a lot longer than carpet. Another expense for you as a landlord is going to be carpet replacement. So in all the houses we do, in every city we do, we either put hardwood floors in, tile, or we put a really dark, tough grade of commercial carpet in, so that it doesn't have to be replaced all the time. Because painting and carpet are always your 2 main expenses as a landlord. So if we can do things to limit having to replace those after tenants move out, that's what we try to do. So in this house, paint, 2-tone, semi-gloss, all new electrical. We put all new fixtures in. We'll put new ceiling fans in here. If you let me walk over to the kitchen. What we do in the kitchen is if we don't have to replace cabinets, we don't. Like these cabinets are decent wood, so what we'll generally do is take all the hardware off these cabinets, put nice new hardware on, give them a nice new paint job. The countertop though, we always replace stuff like this. We take the countertops off, we put a new, we have a couple different styles of countertop, but we usually put the Formica countertops in. We'll put a brand new sink basin in. We put brand new appliances in all of our houses, all right? So new appliances, new paint, new hardware. We always update all the plumbing and electrical. We put what's called PEX plumbing in. They have some old plumbing down here. We use brand new plastic PEX plumbing because it doesn't freeze. You don't have to worry about that in Phoenix, but we're in a lot of other markets too, and you have to worry about the cold weather. If we go back here to the bedrooms and the bathrooms, I know we all can't fit, but same thing. We'll just go through, we replace all these doors. These doors are all old and kind of messed up. So we replace the doors, we replace the hardware on the doors, all new paint, all new light fixtures. This is a 3-bed, 2-bath. All right, and this, look, you can look in here. This entire bathroom has to be replaced. We'll put all brand new vanity in, brand new mirror, brand new toilet. This tub's just completely demolished. What we'll do probably here is strip this down with an acid wash and re-enamel it. This old tile, although it doesn't look real nice, is actually pretty sturdy, and we'll probably keep this. We'll probably have some color to match it because this stuff here is actually good quality tile. It lasts for a lot of years. But we'll put all new hardware here and here, new light fixtures. Let's go out the back and look in the back. All right, if you look outside here, you can see that the roof is bad. All right, so we're gonna have to tear off the roof, like I said, and replace the roof. And Phoenix, you'll see up top, look up here on top of the house. You see that unit up there? Up here on the top, that's your furnace and your air conditioning unit, okay? A lot of times here in Phoenix, they put them up on the roof like this. In some other markets, you'll have a condensing unit on the ground and the furnace inside. But that's the furnace and the air conditioning unit. We replace furnace and air conditioning units generally. We usually have them 7 years old or newer. If they're older than that, we'll put new ones in. If they're newer, we'll reservice them to make sure that they're good. In Phoenix, most of the lots are pretty small. This one's actually decent size. We've got an okay sized backyard. We've got the block fence basically here for children and dogs. And we got a little storage facility over here, which is actually where the hot water tank is. If we look in there, you can see the hot water tank's old and the plumbing's old. We'll have to replace that hot water tank and all the plumbing that runs over. So really, This house is probably about a $15,000 rehab at our cost. If you probably went somewhere to do it at a contractor, I would say probably $22,000 to rehab a house like this. So, okay. Usually we'll do some landscaping, okay? When we paint the outside, we'll go in the front and put some mulch down, put some little bushes. We'll clean the yard up one time before they move in. And then once they've moved in, it's their responsibility to do the yard. Yeah. This is typically that mid-range house that turnkey is probably somewhere between 55 to 70 grand, depending, or 50 to 70 grand, depending on the size and the neighborhood. This area is called Maryville. The type of tenants that you have here are blue-collar, lower-end blue-collar workers. As a matter of fact, the girl next door came outside and said, hey, I'm paying $1,100 over here for rent. Do you guys have anything we can rent? We usually rent these for $850. $1,100 is way above market. I don't know why she's paying it that, but she's already got our number. She wants to rent this one when it's done. So they rent very fast in this neighborhood because it's a pretty safe neighborhood. It's just a blue-collar working neighborhood, and as you'll see when you drive up and down the roads, there's not a lot of vacant houses. There's not a lot of stuff out in the street. So this is a good mid-grade safe level. But this is kind of indicative of all those mid-grades that we'll be showing you guys on the slideshows. I just wanted to take you to this one so you guys can kind of see an example. But this is a pre-rehabbed one. The two we're going to go to next have been rehabbed, so we'll walk through some that are all the way finished. Also here in this area called Maryville, it's called Rancho. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, I believe. And I think it's rented for right around $800 a month. It's kind of standard for this area. They're all pretty much the same. The houses are all pretty much 3-bedroom, 2-bath, around 1,200 square feet. Approximately $800 a month in rent. Taxes are about $60 a month average in this area, so maybe $700, $800 for the year. So not too bad. When you're trying to calculate your return, or whenever you're trying to think of these investments, you just take the rent, which is $800 a month, times 12 will give you your gross rental amount, and then take your yearly taxes out. Like I said, it's about $700, $800 here. Insurance is about $650 for the year. Property management will be about $1,000, so we're talking 13, 14, so we're looking at 1,000 plus, yeah, 2,000. It's going to be about $2,600, $2,700 for all the fees after maintenance, property management, taxes, and insurance. So if the net is, what's 800 times 12? Who knows that?
1,600.
There you go. 10,000. 10,600 minus 2,700. So like $7,500, $8,000 for the year for your net. Just look at the neighborhoods. That's really what's important here. All the neighborhoods are pretty much the same.
And it's right along the properties because they haven't planted grass.
Yeah, and you'll notice there's no grass here. Wonder why.
Oh, because they didn't plant winter grass.
Oh.
Planting ryegrass in water is very expensive.
Very
So they don't get their Bermuda
But
grass.
during the summer, that'll all come naturally.
Yeah, they'll all come back. We do natural lights.
I wonder if I could sit down. This next place we're going, Buckeye, is about 30 minutes away, so I'm going to sit down and listen. Do you guys have any questions? You know, the houses that we're going to out here, the reason we've come to these is because I have two that are available that we can actually walk through. It's really hard for me to get you guys to walk through properties again because almost everything we have is rented. We fix them up very quickly and get them rented quickly. But these are two right here that we're just in the middle of working on or just finishing. Actually, they're both rented, but the renters don't move in until the middle of next week, so this gives us a nice little chance to see a couple properties. Now, as you guys can see here, we're coming up into Buckeye. You can see all the houses they're all 04, 05 or newer. Very nice homes. Most of these houses out here in this area were 160 to 300 in the boom, and now we can get them rented, turnkey, ready to go for 75 to 90. So it's pretty amazing. I mean, these nice brand new houses in this nice, beautiful, brand new city. All the businesses here are new. Everybody that works out here is good, hardworking family people. 75 to 95 grand as most of the prices. And you'll see when we get here, you'll be pretty much amazed that you can buy anything like this for 75. These houses here, of these type of houses, these newer ones, for the appreciation, if you remember Chris, the local expert that came in, the big, tall, teddy bear looking guy, he was talking about 12 to 18 months for a lot of these newer things to rebound back to at least that cost to reproduce. I feel like here we got a little park. I feel the exact same way as him. These things have to bounce back. These are brand new homes. And not one builder can build any house around here until these bounce back the cost. Because I mean, like you see right here, if you could, that's a brand new house, and I don't care what anybody says. It's 5 years old, but they're new houses. Actually, I love these houses out here. That's just me. I love real estate. We got the Spanish tile roofs, stucco houses. The lots are a little bigger. Okay, I hope you guys can all hear me. This is kind of a standard Buckeye house for us. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. My guys are over here working. It's the weekend, so they've kind of taken some time off. We have someone moving in on Wednesday. Our last thing we'll do is come out here and pick all these weeds and get it landscaped. As you can see, this is the only house in the neighborhood that looks like this on the outside, but we'll get it dressed up. Tenant moves in Wednesday. Let's go inside and take a look. Try to be careful though, because I think a lot of work's been done, and I don't want to mess it up because the tenant's coming in on Wednesday.
Tyler.
Yeah.
Now the price, it includes the land as well, so freehold.
Yeah. The price is the entire land and everything. If this house was to get knocked down for some reason, you'd still have the land would be yours. It's land plus building.
So all the houses that will be looking through you will have freehold land.
That's right. All the land and the house. When you buy this, you get this entire lot with the building on it, okay? This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. You can smell the new carpet in here. Traditionally, I like to come in here. If we would go to the other one, you'd see I usually use the 2-tone with the tan and white on the walls. We just didn't repaint this one because it didn't really need it. It needed carpet. We had to replace the HVAC. Someone had damaged it. We didn't have to do a whole lot of work on these, and you don't usually have to out here. This property here was sold for probably 190-ish in the height. I have it on my spreadsheet somewhere, just not in front of me. But today, this property here, we sell for somewhere between $75,000 and probably $95,000. They rent between $825 to $950. We have this one rented at $875. But again, I mean, some of the houses in this neighborhood sold at $300,000, the bigger ones in the height. This one was probably, like I said, $180 to $195-ish. But today, I think this one will probably be in the mid-80s is where we'd sell this one. This is probably $82 to $87,000, turnkey, tenanted, you know, done like this, new carpet, you know. A lot of the stuff we don't have to replace in here. It's usually carpet, paint. You know, like I said, they're only 4 or 5 years old. It's just a carpet, paint. But the HVAC, for some reason, is a hot item for people to steal out of vacant houses. When a house is vacant, there's copper and some things that are on the furnace and the air conditioning units on the outside of the houses that are worth some money. So usually we find those are gone, and carpet and paint. But you guys can walk through this house, check it out. This one's probably 85-ish.
Is this for sale, this one?
This one's not, but I have other like 10 more just like this that are tenanted. This one's not. This one actually, the tenant that's moving in is doing a lease option at $160,000. So they have 5 years to pay us $160,000. So, but we're into it for probably somewhere like 80, 79, 80 something. So for us, this is a good move. Double the money in 3 or 4 years. And you guys can do these types of things too with the tenants. A lot of the tenants in these types of neighborhoods and these nicer homes like to do rent to owns or lease options. But their credit, a lot of people's credit in America is bad because everybody in the mortgage meltdown and everybody had all these refinances on their houses that were too much, credit cards that were too high. So not only was the banks in a credit crunch, but us as individuals were. So everybody's credit is terrible. So they can't get a loan. And banks don't loan in America right now. So people with money have the ability to come in, pay cash, put them on a rent to own. In 3 or 4 years when the banks start lending again and these people get their credit cleaned up, they refinance away from you. But in the meantime, I like this move because they live in the house and view it as their own. So they're going to take better care of it. So if they're on a lease option, in their mind is their house, even though it's still yours. So obviously they're not going to tear it up. Sometimes they'll even make them better. Do some landscaping of their own, build a garden, and then 3 years down the road, they refinance for $160. You bought it for 80 something, you've doubled your money, and you had cash flow along the way. Can't really, and what's the risk on something like this? Even if this person moves out, in this neighborhood you can rent again, 1, and 2, I mean, look at the house. For $85,000, you can't build this. This is $130 to build. So, and like I said, and until these get to $130, they'll never build a new house. It just can't happen. And it has to happen sometime. And like I said, Chris says 12 to 18 months. I agree with that. I would say 12 to 24. I don't know the answer to the question. That's just, educated people's guess. So you guys can walk around and look. We were going to go to 3 like this out here, but because of time, this is it. We're just going to go to this one, but the other ones are the same. It's all they're just a little bit different layouts, same neighborhood. Yep.
So that's why they built the Roosevelt Dam, to control the water. We have the Dial building over here on David's side of the coach, that's the round building. With a big V. Nobody stays in town. Phoenix has been trying to develop nifty condominiums down here and have people move into the city. The problem with that is that you haven't given me a drugstore or a grocery store. This is the back part of our City Hall.
Oh, it's smelling eaves.
And all the trees we're looking at are the Palo Verde trees.
So there'll be shops open to buy lunch?
No, there are no shops open around here, a few. I think you've got your little map.
Yeah.
Return on investment is, but the condo is a good investment because it's a low price investment. You can get it at a cheaper price. You know, it's an easier entry point for some people. But this 2-bedroom, this is kind of what we do standard on our condos. This is the color I use, and this is the trim. We don't do as nice of rehabs on the condos because you really just do the rehabs for the areas that you're in. This is the lowest grade product we do. There's worse stuff in the city. This is as bad as we will go. Not that this is bad. I'm just saying there's different levels of the city. There's not crime, you know, prostitution, murders, things like that here, drug dealing. This is a decent neighborhood, but you'll find that in some parts of Phoenix, but not here. This is about as low as we'll go on the investment scale, price-wise. But this is it. This is the carpet that we use. As you can see, this is like a general standard rehab for me. In the kitchen, we put new tile in. We put some new toilets in, some new vanities in. We got new countertops. If you guys want to walk throughout the house, that's fine. I think it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. With us on the condos, we try to stay in the best neighborhoods as possible, but we know it's a cheap price product. But at the same time, we like the condos to be as big as possible. Even though this is a 2-bedroom, it's a decent sized 2-bedroom, it's 2-bath. We like to stay with the 2- and 3-bedroom condos. That's kind of our strategy. And if you can get 2 baths, that's just a bonus. Helps it rent faster. So if you guys want to take a look at the condo, you're more than welcome. The condos will always have the highest HOA dues. But that doesn't mean they're a bad investment. You just need to look at the rent and always subtract out what your expenses will be to make sure you know exactly what you're getting. So.
And does anyone manage this? Would it be the same property management group?
Okay. With the properties that we have, some of them are under different management. I try to always use the same management, but sometimes we buy things from people and they're already under management. If they're doing a good job, we stay with them. You're more than welcome to use whoever you'd like, but the company that we had come speak, in my opinion, is the best one down here. So say you bought something and it was, I'm sorry, it was already under management, then you could switch it to them, or if you were happy with the current management, you could stay with them as well. I was asked to talk to you a second about refrigerators and stoves. In this country, I guess this is something different to than what you guys are used to. I get refrigerators and stoves delivered to all my units, no matter where it is, by a company called Home Depot. You guys have probably heard of them. For $725 to $770 for a brand new fridge and stove. Apparently that's cheap to you guys, so this might be something that aids you in thinking about your rental units. But when you buy our stuff, most of it already has brand new fridges and stove, or working fridges and stoves, so you don't have to buy them. So that was one thing I was asked to talk about. But another thing I was just wondering for myself, when we were in Buckeye, the place we were earlier today with the newer houses, I'm just curious, what is a house like that in Melbourne or Australia or somewhere worth?
400,000 in each country, Victoria. 400,000.
Really?
Yeah.
So you guys' real estate is considerably higher than ours. Then, really.
Most unaffordable in the world.
Crazy. You know, and those units were worth, you know, 250, some, you know,
600,000 or 700,000.
That's crazy. Can't even get a patch of grass for 100 grand. Well, I don't know. I'm just always interested to get that knowledge. But like I said, I've tried to show you 3 different models on the slideshow presentation, and today the newer houses, the upper model. I showed you the middle neighborhoods, and then I showed you the condo a little bit lower end. As I said before, there's some areas in every city you want to stay out of that are very run down. If you see a ton of vacancies, people who aren't keeping their yards at all, a lot of illegal activity of any sort, you want to stay out of those areas. This is the lowest rung for us, which is not in an area like that, but it's still a low class, not low class person, I don't mean to say it like that, but a lower income level person, very low end working person, McDonald's workers, construction workers, things like this. That doesn't mean they're bad people. A lot of them are immigrants, but this is the lowest end thing in the condo. It's $31,000 to $45,000. I'm sorry, $35,000 to $41,000 on average for most of the stuff we do.
Car parks?
Yeah. Oh, all the condos. Usually, you'll always find that they have central laundry facilities somewhere on site that you go pay for your laundry service. None of them have garages, hardly ever. Not at this level. The nicer ones do, $100 some odd thousand do, but they all have carports and your own parking spot. As people notice, sometimes on the condos, the outsides of some of these condo developments, there's chipping paint and the woods run down a little bit because I said a lot of people are going into foreclosure, and if they're not paying their mortgages, they're not paying their homeowners association dues either. Homeowners association doesn't have the money to go give this thing a facelift on the outside. They have to think about the things that matter, like keeping the grounds and the plumbing and electrical the way it should be in the HVAC. So they just don't have the extra money to paint them right now, and you'll find that with a lot of condos. But go ahead. Most of the condos in this type of area, the ones you can get now for the 35 to 41 range, probably topped out at between 80 and 95,000. And that's a 2 or 3 bedroom. You know, the ones were cheaper. Ones are just one bedrooms are hard to deal with sometimes. The more bathrooms you can get, the better with the condos too. Just like anything, the bigger the better. That's what Americans think. So. And I have a question in the back. That's okay. All right, well, I'm going to be around all day tomorrow. Again, it was great to see you guys. I'm tired. You guys are tired, so I'll see you at the hotel. Thanks.